So in this video, we're going to look at subsidies. So last class, we would have worked through some taxes, what taxes will do in a market, but hopefully we're comfortable now. If we start out with a market that has no government intervention, right, completely free and open, our equilibrium point is where supply is equal to demand, and we can identify our equilibrium price and quantity. Okay. Now, if we have a subsidy, right, that is the government giving the company money for producing something. So I usually use an example of windmills, because there's a pretty relevant example where they were giving, if you built a windmill, you would get a certain amount of money from the government. And so the idea is that at every given quantity, whatever the marginal cost was before, well, it's now went down. Because if I was spending $100 before, but the government's going to give me maybe $50 to build this, right? Now my cost isn't $100, it's only 50, 100 minus 50, right? It's now cheaper to provide that same number of units. So that's going to happen at every single quantity. The marginal costs essentially to the company have decreased, right? Because it's the old marginal cost, but kind of, costs we can think about as negative. With this subsidy, it's a positive value, so it's going to lower my costs, right? So the new equilibrium point, we might quickly want to say, okay, it's going to be where this new supply curve plus the subsidy is equal to the demand curve. So we can kind of see here, we'll call this Q sub for Q quantity of the subsidy leads to. Then we might quickly think, okay, here's the new equilibrium price. However, the difference is that, yes, this is the new equilibrium price, but it's the price that the consumers are going to pay. Right? So whatever price the consumers pay, that's what the companies get to keep. However, they not only get to keep that price, but they also are going to get the value of the subsidy for providing that good. So what's actually going to represent the price that the consumers get to, the price that the sellers get to keep will be whatever price the consumers pay plus the value of that subsidy. Okay? And kind of think about, why is it going to be this point up on the supply curve? Well, because the difference between the supply curve plus the subsidy and the old supply curve is just the value of the subsidy. So if you take the price the consumer pays plus the value of the subsidy, let me see if I can draw this sideways. There we go. Then that's going to be the price the sellers get to keep, right? Where the price that the sellers get to keep will be equal to the price the consumers pay plus whatever value that subsidy is that the government is giving them, right? So, we see this increase in the quantity of the good on the market, whatever good we're subsidizing. The price the consumer pays will actually be a little bit lower, and the price the seller gets to keep is actually going to be higher. So this sounds all well and good, everyone's better off, but there's actually some deadweight loss to society here, which we'll go through in class.